Ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, welcome back to the Gonzo Ewok channel with me, Gonzo,
and me, Ewok,
for another episode of
Geordie Space Program.
Ewok, I'm excited. I'm excited about this episode.
Ik ben een exciting.
I am excited about this episode. Do you know why I'm excited about this episode?
Why are you excited about this episode, Gonzo?
Two reasons. One, I watched our last video.
Yeah, good.
Your solo performance went a little bit better than my solo performance.
Just a little bit. I mean, I didn't bankrupt the space program, that's one thing.
Yep. You also managed to put a big-ass rocket, atomic rocket, into space.
I did.
Yes.
Did you like my my design tweaks with the 4 atomic engines on one tank?
Well, I was going to point out, I like what you've done with it. However, I would not want to be one of those Kerbals. I think you did. You mentioned that yourself.
Okay, I'm a little bit worried that it says it's on a suborbital trajectory. Hang on. I think that's just a bit of debris.
Debris.
Okay, there we go. That's just the old tank I got rid of. So there it is.
Let's show people.
Let's show people.
Yeah, what I was going to say is, I think you pointed out you wouldn't want to be one of those Kerbals that are sitting just under the atomic motors. And I was thinking, basically, Jeb and Bob and Bill, regardless of what happens with this mission, they're going to come back bald and probably poached, because it's going to be hot and full of radiation.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a good place to be on the receiving end of 4 atomic engines.
We still don't know if that stage that separates the lander from the actual tug is going to work, by the way.
No.
So, I mean, that's an unknown commodity. What we're going to do with this rocket?
Well, this is the other thing that I was going to say. That was I am excite, point 1. We've got this thing. You did well. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Point 2 is, we're recording this. You'll probably be watching it the Friday beforehand, I suppose, like back end of April. On Monday, well, on the 27th of April, 1.0 comes out. That's got us excited as well. Full release of Kerbal Space Program's due out really soon.
So really, this is our last hurrah with the beta.
It's going to be the series finale, because once we've done this for Good or Ill, the new series is going to come along. We're rebooting, and we're going to start again from scratch. So, we've decided this is going to be our swan song, if you like. We're going to do something, we're going to see something that neither of us have seen before. That's the plan.
We have 2 choices.
Right.
The way I see it. In terms of the lander, it's a small lander.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a lot of fuel, so it's not going to land on a planet.
No.
Well, it could land on a planet. One planet. We could go to Jewel and land on one of Jewel's moons.
Yeah.
Or we could go all the way out to Elu and land on Elu.
What's this one?
That's Dres.
Why don't we go to Dres?
It's got no moons and it's too big.
Why is it too big?
We could land on it, we'd never get back out. I'd like to see if we can get back out. But let me go through my thinking, because there's disadvantages to both of these.
Yeah.
Jewel is big.
Yes.
That means it's got a lot of gravity.
Yeah.
So it's going to be difficult to escape from.
It's also a gas giant.
Well, yeah, that's why it's big.
Yeah.
But it has 5 moons.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's big, so that's already going to be a fair amount of fuel to escape.
Yeah.
Just to get out of its sphere of influence. The moons themselves. One of them is around about 80 to 90% water.
Right, that's not good.
That's out because we're terrible at landing.
Yeah.
2 of them are big buggers. Really big.
Right.
So they're out. That leaves 2 moons. I forget which ones they are. Bop and something else. One of them is really, really small.
Right.
Gilly is the only thing in the solar system smaller than it.
Yeah.
And the other one, I believe, is around about sort of equivalent to the moon size.
Right, but we don't know which one's which.
The problem with them both is that they have really rough, uneven terrain.
That's not good.
So
we're not good at landing.
That's the disadvantages for going to Jewel. Big sphere of influence, lots of fuel to escape.
Lots of unhospitable...
And the moons are difficult.
Right.
Elu. Elu is a dwarf planet. It is a planet, but it is only slightly larger than the moon. It's got around about 20 to 30% more gravity than the moon.
Right.
It'll be easy to escape from, and it's also quite flat, so it's easy to land on.
Uh-huh.
Downsides.
It's fucking miles away.
It's got a very wide elliptical orbit.
Yeah,
which makes an intercept difficult. And because it goes so far out from the sun, solar panels work at around about 5% efficiency.
Right.
So power becomes an issue.
Okay.
So
space travel's dangerous.
Space travel's dangerous. Now, the furthest we've been out is Eve.
Yep.
And the solar panels... is Juno.
Juno.
The solar panels were fine on Juno, but I mean, that is a hell of a distance. And that's a hell of a distance.
What about Moho?
What about Moho?
right up close to the sun. It's the closest one. It's the Kerbal equivalent of Mercury.
I don't know. What's Moho like in terms of its hospitability?
It's hot and it's dusty.
Is it big?
Sort of. It's very hard to describe planetary bodies. It's sort of like planet-sized. Quite small.
Is it small enough that we could take off from it with the lander?
I think so, possibly. Are you quickly checking on your phone?
I'm quickly checking.
Let's have a look. I know it's got a big hole in it. There's the Moho.
There's the Moho. Again, though, we're going to be very close to the sun.
It's what's this about fiery place with oceans of flowing lava? That isn't a thing, though, in the game.
Yeah. But
in reality, it's much less interesting.
And, the sun is by far and away the biggest gravitational force. It's going to be difficult to pull away from it. It's going to cost a lot more fuel on the way back than it is on the way there. Although saying that, it is a lot closer.
Yeah. I think maybe Moho might be the one to do, and then we've covered all those, inner planets.
Let's have a look. It lacks an atmosphere, it's not tidally locked to Kerbal, it doesn't have an atmosphere.
These are all good things. We can deal with that.
It has 12 biomes. How big is it, though? That's what I want to know.
Sort of planet-sized?
Yeah, but we need to be able to take off. If it's big...
If it's anything like actual Mercury, it's probably small. Not as small as Elu, not as small as a moon, but quite small.
It's 1.6 cubic meters a second squared is its gravitational parameter. That means very little to me.
This is making for riveting viewing.
It is
point
just
that out.
Staring at the map.
Listen to Ewok read from his phone.
I honestly hadn't planned on this.
I've thrown the spanner in here.
You have.
Fucking let's just do Moho.
Right, we're going to pause. Because we're not going to go there and throw away the mission for nothing. We're going to pause and we're going to decide whether Moho's viable.
We'll be right back after this argument.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We've hammered it out and we've decided, sod it, we're going to go to Moho. Did we find the answers we were looking for about its gravity?
No.
No.
No. No, we didn't. Yes. So what we've established is that Moho has a radial diameter or a radius of about 250,000 meters, compared to the Moon, which has about 200,000, and Elu, which has about 210. So it's a bit bigger than Elu, a bit bigger than the Moon,
which means we may have difficulty escaping.
Yeah, could cause problems.
But what the hell? Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Aye, we'll see what we can do, and I think it'll be nice. I think it works out. It's a nice way to round off this series, because then what we've got is all those inner planets. We've done Moho, we've done Eve, we've done Juna. We'll need to come back to those later on once we've started the new series, but it still leaves the wider galaxy and the more distant planets and moons that we're going to explore at a later date.
Well, I'm just going to get us escaped first. I mean, that's first port of call.
Aye, commit with, and then we'll work out how we're going to do it.
I'm going to quickly need to turn the engines on, though, aren't I?
Yeah, that would help.
Get the RCS and the SAS on for this manoeuvre.
They help. You put the solar panels out at the end of the last one as well, didn't you?
I did, but we don't actually need to put them back in. They'll be fine on an extra solar burn.
If you can hear banging and clattering, I'm going to close those curtains because we've got a little bit of the old
awful screen glare there we did.
Springtime sun coming in, and because we're looking at this, and it's probably not as dark as it is to you guys, but it is still pretty dark.
Okay, regretfully, it's a 7-minute burn.
Right,
so it's still quite a long burn. I don't know whether you want to cut away where we do the burn.
Let's leave a little bit of it in, and then we'll see how things.
We'll do a couple of minutes of burn, and then we'll fade out so that people can.
Yeah, I get the impression that people aren't too keen on lots of fade outs. Even though there's really not much happening, people seem to like it when we just kind of gibber on for a while. So, if that's the case, they'll probably want to hang around for a bit longer and listen to our podcast.
Yes,
we're planning to record after this. I'm not sure if it'll be up at the time this video goes up, or maybe something that's coming a bit later.
3 minutes 37 seconds.
That's the one. But yeah, we're planning on recording a little pilot of a podcast, just where the two of us can sit down. The thing is,
hang on.
What are you doing?
We've dipped well below the 70,000 that we were. Oh crap!
We're in the atmosphere again, aren't we?
Just.
That's not good. We're in the atmosphere. I don't like that.
Don't worry about it, son.
But we weren't when you You quit the game at the end of the last episode?
Yeah, it'll be that little burn that I just did, buddy.
Oh dear. So you've put me back into it. All these grand plans and we're going back home without going anywhere first.
Don't worry, it's fine.
I wonder how these engines are going to cope with a 7-minute burn. I hope I have got enough. That's still not enough.
It's the prograde is not in the right place.
Isn't that because we're targeted on Moho? That's our Moho burn, which will be pointing down. That's bringing it up, but slowly.
It'll get up easy enough, mate.
Point up. That's kind of pushing that in the right direction, so...
That's fine.
It's coming down again. It's coming down again.
It's fine. We're past the periapsis, which means we're now going up.
Oh. What's the fuel situation on this thing like? I mean, those little bits of manoeuvres, what has that done to the fuel? Can we have a bit of a look?
Scratch the surface.
Well, I mean, you say that. It's done about 87 units of fuel it's done there.
It's scratched the surface. I'm going to need to sort our manoeuvre node out again because I cocked that up.
Right.
All because I needed to test the engines to see how long the burn would take.
All because the lady loves. Jesus. That's a format.
all because the lady loves Jesus.
Right, that looks alright.
There we go. You say you haven't actually lost that much.
That's less than a 7-minute burn now. That's more efficient.
Fantastic.
Yep.
That's probably because we burned for...
Yeah.
We've already wasted that.
I wanted to glance over that one. But, hey ho, I'm going to have a little sip of my coffee here.
Well, you enjoy that. I'm a little bit worried that it looks like we're burning directly into the planet.
Yeah, I mentioned this in one of our previous episodes.
But we shouldn't be, because I've set it up to do a pro-grade burn. There we go. We've still got a quarter of the planet to go around.
Yeah.
So by the time we get there, it should be awful.
It's just because we're wrapping our burn around like 3 minutes on either side.
Yeah.
3.5 minutes either
That's
side.
right. It's because we've got the atomic motor. We're going to have to do it differently then.
Aye. We're going to leave it a bit later in the day.
Yeah, we are going to have to leave it a bit later.
It doesn't really matter because accuracy isn't the sort of case in point here. It's just getting the speed up to escape curve and sphere of influence.
Absolutely. At this point in time, I'm primarily interested in escaping the sphere of influence.
Get away from this
planet. Getting around the sun, and Bob's your mother's brother.
Aye. Now, there's lots of fancy ways you can do this. You can use like proper gravity turns, like around Eve and what have you.
No,
make sure things are in the right place to do it.
No, I can't.
I was about to say that though. We can't, but it can be done if you know what you're doing. We really need to bone up. After 1.0 comes out, I'm putting some time aside before we do our first recording of 1.0. So at least I've got a vague clue. I doubt in the few hours I'll be able to snatch playing before we record. I'll be able to do that, but at least I need to get myself familiar. People will have seen from my solo episode, things went to ratchet really quickly. I didn't have a clue what I was doing, I'll be honest. It's been that long since I've sat down and played. So that wasn't the best.
So in case anyone didn't see it, that's where the 3 Kerbals are, in that little capsule at the bottom, directly below the motor, which is scorching them to piss.
We should have called this the poached Kerbal.
You know what? That's never going to take off from Moho. Never in a million years. I think they might end up setting up a colony there. But hell, right. At least they'll get there.
End of the series. As long as we get to see the shiny surface of Moho, I'll be happy.
That would just about get up and back off the moon.
Aye.
So Moho's a no-go. Ooh.
You're a poet.
And I didn't even know I was rhyming.
Yes, well done.
There we go. Oh,
sticky keys.
Sticky keys.
Now, I haven't turned them off since the last time that I turned them off. But
that's the problem with Kerbal, is when I'm adjusting my throttle, I'm constantly pressing away at that shift button.
I'm going to get us some views. I'm going to play cameraman. I think there's a better view than the view you've got. It's alright. See, you can see
it's a lovely little rocket, isn't it? It's such an unusual design.
Yeah, there's a reason why real rockets don't do this with this guns at the back. I'm pretty sure there's a very good reason why that isn't a thing.
The only reason I couldn't do what I wanted to do is because we didn't have, anything that I needed. We haven't unlocked the parts that I wanted to create this rocket. so I kind of had to do a bit of a bod job using parts that I didn't want. That wasn't supposed to be on the bottom, that was supposed to be on the top.
Yeah, like up here.
Up here, and it was supposed to be covered by a stack separator. But we didn't have stack separators, we only have the... What do we call them?
There's the moons came up, look, just over the horizon.
What do you call the things that we have that aren't stack separators?
Decouplers.
Yeah, the problem with decouplers is that they leave part of themselves behind, and then as a result completely block off access to that part. I wanted a stack decoupler.
Stack separator,
a stack separator
a separate part.
Is a separate part, wouldn't leave anything behind, and then would keep that docking port uncovered and clear to come back. But because I didn't have the stack separator, I had to put this on the back end of it, and we end up with this funky design where the actual lander is essentially on fire. Although I did at least move the legs.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
I did move the legs out the way of the flames, because they're kind of important.
Just have a check of what's happening with the fuel, because I can see visible notches appearing in the fuel tank.
Absolutely. We've used around about 550 of the liquid fuel. We've got 3,600, the vast majority of which is in that main tank. There's a small amount of fuel, obviously, in the lander stage. Bearing in mind, the lander has its own engine.
That's not great, though.
It's fine.
We've still got like another... What's that? Still got nearly 3.5 minutes to burn.
It's like everything when it comes to Kerbal Space Program. Once you get out of Kerbal's atmosphere, it costs you most of your fuel to get into orbit around Kerbal. And then again, when you're going somewhere else, it costs you most of your fuel to get out of the planet that you're in orbit with. The actual interplanetary manoeuvring stage is usually relatively fuel efficient.
I see what you're saying. It's just that it does it panics us when I'm less than 3,000 units.
Because we're burning towards Moho, Moho. Because we're burning towards Moho, and Moho is right next to that gigantic ball of gas and flame that has quite a huge gravitational pull. It is probably going to be more energy to come back than get there, which means we might not be getting back anyway, even if the lander does take off.
I'll think it's a miracle if we get within a couple of 100 million.
We should have gone to bloody Elu, I'm telling you. We should have gone to Elu.
That would have been like 45-minute burn. You know, people like Scott Manley play things like Hearthstone. They just leave Kerbal running in the background when they're doing their manoeuvres and just play Hearthstone for 3 hours. Ain't nobody got time for that shit.
Ain't nobody got time for that. So we're still in Kerbin's sphere of influence, yeah?
It's the first time we've had the weird wibbly lines going on for a while.
We haven't even burned out beyond Minmus. In fact, we still haven't burned out beyond Minmus.
But look, it's creeping quite fast now. It's picking up speed.
Unfortunately, we're going to shoot past... We're doing a gravity burn past the moon. Although I'm a little bit worried that we're going to just hit the moon.
Nah, we'll not hit the moon.
The periapsis is getting awfully close to it. It's going to shoot out the other side.
Well, that's certainly one way of getting the moon encounter.
We've done it before, smashing directly into the moon at high speed.
Yep. Yes, we have. It's nice. We've got a nice little sort of like what do you call it? Like Tokyo Drift. You know, like the old Scandinavian.
I'm really worried that we're not going to kick out the other side. That we're just going to crash headlong.
We're still burning for another minute and a half. That'll be all right. We've still got to put another 400 meters a second of speed onward.
Oh, there we go. We're out the other side.
See, that's fine.
We're out the other side.
Just once we get that speed up,
we can't
lose. Yeah. We can't lose any of that speed, because then we are going to hit the friggin' moon.
We still haven't gone far from Kerbin.
No, we're nowhere right now.
But I love the idea that we're sort of accidentally having a moon encounter. It's nice. Let's zoom out. We still haven't got an escape. We're still orbiting Kerbin. Yeah,
at the minute we would shoot out past the moon, fling out past Minmus, kind of hang there, and then just fall back down. Isn't ideal.
It's not ideal. Is that us now? Yeah, we've got an escape.
Oh, well, that's quite good. Should we cut the engines there then?
Yeah, why not? Because once we're further away from Kerbin, it becomes more efficient, I believe. I'm not sure. I don't know if we lose any efficiency by sort of dragging things rather than pushing them.
Yeah.
My mind says that in theory, no, we shouldn't, because as long as the rockets are straight, all that momentum is going in a straight line. But, I mean, I'm no expert at all. I'm sure someone smarter than me could tell you differently.
I'd imagine if something is kind of in the path of all of the flames and all of that sort of energy coming out the back, that's going to deflect ever so slightly. I remember at one point you had the engines on at a 45-degree angle outwards, and I'm glad that you didn't do that. You were like putting things on, struggling with the construction tools a bit. Very glad that wasn't a thing.
So in an hour's time, we're going to have a Mun encounter.
Let's see if we can find it.
Oh, hang on. Let's get the RCS and SAS off.
Aye.
The solar panels will be mad efficient when we're that close.
This is true.
To the sun.
This is true.
I can't rotate anymore. I changed the camera mode by accident. Free orbital chase.
Something weird's happening.
I can't. Why can't I change the camera? Let's go into Space Center and come
jump
back.
out. Well, I did notice as well the
I had some
of the patch notes for Kerbal 1.0 said that they've squashed at present over 300 bugs.
Excellent.
So that sounds pretty promising. Hopefully that's one of them.
Well, if you noticed, I had a bug on my... that's when I lost the entire rocket. There we go. When I lost the entire rocket, that was due to a bug, which meant I couldn't use my mouse at all.
You might want to just top the engines on and off again, just so we've got a frame of reference when we look to plan our manoeuvre. Might as well do that now while we're mind on.
I mean, you make a good point.
Don't hit space.
I can't. I've got no keyboard input now. The throttle is not working. We've got electric charge. What's quick save?
5, and then 9 will reload.
It's not saying quick saves.
It is saying quick saved at the bottom.
Oh, it is. I'm just going to quick save and quick load to see if we can crush that particular bug. There we go. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen.
Maybe those bugs are related. You know, it's a bit of a strange one.
It does seem strange that we'd lose keyboard input and then lose mouse input. That is definitely strange.
Vice versa, as the case may be. So the moon is gradually, waving its way, kind of in front of her.
What I'm going to do is, I am going to quickly drop out of warp, get RCS and SAS on.
Yeah.
And just point us prograde, because we're going to get a nice view here if we're pointing prograde.
Yeah, because
the moon's going to cut across our path as we move forward, and it'll be pretty. I'm using the autopilot buttons there.
I can see. It's quite nice.
It is quite nice. It's nice to have that. I'm looking forward to getting some Kerbals skilled up in the future.
That would
really
be nice.
take advantage of that.
Aye.
Things
like docking manoeuvres and what have you would be quite nice with that as well. Once you've got like experienced pilots.
Oh, there was the Mun crossing our path. It was a little unremarkable, actually.
Yeah, it was a complete. Well,
look at how close we've come to it, completely by accident, on our way out of the Kerbal system.
Hello, Moon. How are you doing?
We've still got guys down there, don't we?
I don't know.
Did we ever rescue them?
I think so. I think we sent the. Was it not the meat shield? The meat shield might have been and picked them up.
Did we really do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. That's amazing.
Yeah. We've accomplished some epic shit in this. We've had some monumental failures, but we have achieved some really good stuff that we haven't been able to do before.
Goodbye, planet. Look at them just fading away there.
We are.
What was that?
Possibly an asteroid. Don't know.
Cool.
Could be a part of one of our ships.
The chances of us passing a part of one of our ships at this distance.
Well, the chances of anything coming from Mars are 1,000,000 to 1, but still they come. Consider that.
Still there. Still just about. It's gone. It's gone.
Wonder what
Are
that
we
was.
officially?
UFO.
Are we officially on our? Yeah, we are escaped.
We're kind of close to Eve's orbit. Strangely enough.
Oh, where the hell are we actually?
We're out there somewhere. Look, you can see we're moving. There we are. That's us. That's not us.
That's us. That's us.
So we're there. Now there's an elliptical thing going on with Moho as well, I notice.
Oh yeah,
It's got a bit of a touch of the old Minmuses going on.
Right, we should probably... Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Is it still set as target?
Yeah, it's set as the target. So we're coming up onto the inclination node, look.
We are. So it's a 0.7 descending node from there.
Aye.
So which way do we want to pull? I think we want to pull.
Yeah,
up.
that's the one.
Yeah, that's right.
0.6. 0.5.
Let's get that right on the money.
It's 1.6. Ooh. 7. 2.
1.
Yeah, right. That's
a 4-minute burn. It'll not take a 4-minute burn.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I think it's just saying that because I've only had the engines on a tickle.
Right. I hope that's the case, because otherwise that is insane. We weren't even getting those kind of burns when we were trying to do interstellar burns, never mind just correct an inclination.
Absolutely.
One atomic.
I'm going to guess it's going to take less than a minute. We will see when we get there, won't we?
We've got probably about 2/3 of our fuel left.
Hey, that's not bad when you think about what the mainsail craft was like when we tried to go interplanetary with the mainsail.
Yeah.
The atomic motors are a must, really. I may have overshot a little bit.
I'd be interested to see if we're
it is actually going to be a 4-minute burn.
I was going to say I'd be interested to see what sort of things we might see in terms of new parts coming into 1.0.
Now there's bound to be a few, and if Squad haven't put a couple of secrets in there that they've kept out of their announcements, I'll be very surprised.
Aye.
They're a sneaky bunch. A good bunch. This is one of the few early access games I've bought that have ever made it out of early access.
Mm-hmm.
And what the others? The Escapists.
Aye.
That made it out.
They've just released some DLC for that, like an Alcatraz DLC.
I haven't went into it since it actually got its official release. What else? Endless Legend. I think that was early access when I bought it.
But I mean, the Endless games, there's a long slew of them as well, it's a safe pair of hands, really.
You say that Endless Space, I believe, was early access. I didn't buy into it at early access, but I'm pretty sure it went through the Endless Access program.
That's what I'm saying.
The Endless Access program. That is sadly appropriate to a number of games that have been languishing on Steam's early access program for a number of years.
And unfortunately, I'm probably more of a sucker than most for picking up.
I've bought a few of them, and there's games with such promise that just never seem to go anywhere, and it's really regretful when something like that happens.
It's true. Personally, what I tend to look for is a game that, if I bought it, the day that I buy it, the developers stopped work entirely, and I think, you know what, I'm happy with what I'm playing here. That's
Kerbal was like that when I first bought Kerbal.
Yeah.
I didn't buy Kerbal because I liked the look of what it could become. I bought Kerbal because I liked the look of what it was at the time.
You could pick it up, play it that afternoon, and you're going to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And everything that's been added since has been a boon for me. There's been a big discussion on the Steam forum. Admittedly, most people are pro what the developers are doing, but somebody put a post up there saying, I wish they'd just stop focusing on career mode, because nobody plays career mode. Everyone's interested in Kerbal for the sandbox.
Aye.
And people came in on both sides, but I think the majority of people said that they like sandbox. They like career mode.
The thing is, it's when people make statements like that as fact, and it's like, actually, no, what you're saying is you prefer this, so they should bend to your will and fuck everybody else. I just think it's very bloody minded.
It is, yeah. Personally, I'm a career mode fan. I like to mess around in sandbox, but I tend to sort of experiment in sandbox for stuff that I then later use in my career mode.
If I've maybe got like an hour spare or something and I fancy playing, although I haven't done it for a long while, I would usually load up sandbox and just build something ridiculous and play with it. But yeah, if I'm sitting down for maybe an afternoon or an evening or something and I really want to have a good game, then I'm going to put career mode on, because it adds flavour, it adds excitement and drama to it.
I like having the restriction. This ship, I think we've learned now that it's not going to go to Moho and come back. And I could build a ship quite easily in sandbox mode that would go to Moho and come back, and it would be a huge, horrible monstrosity.
But it would cost you £5 million plus. It would have top of the range parts that you'd have to spend hours playing career mode to get the science and all that to do, and you'd have to earn that science with missions off the seat of your pants.
And I like the challenge of getting to the point where you can do that, and I like the challenge of trying. I know we don't do it very well. I know we don't do the research that we could do.
It's only taken you like 100 episodes to get to that point.
But still, the stuff we do build, we do try and make it efficient. We
always try.
We do try and make it work well. We could do better if we invested more time in learning the systems.
None of this is scripted. It's not like we build inherent weaknesses in our rocket to make entertaining viewing.
Well, sometimes entertaining, sometimes not. We have spent the majority of this video doing correction burns, but hey ho, there'll be a payoff at the end of it.
There will.
Whether it's a group of Kerbals landing on Moho or a huge fiery explosion, we'll have earned that huge fiery explosion.
In of itself, this is something we've never tried before. I've never tried this in any of my own play. We've never tried this as Gonzo Ewok. So,
my own plays, the furthest I've got is Eve, And I did that after we first got to Eve with Gonzo Ewok.
Aye. I've been to Eve, I've been to Juna. That's it. Well, Moon and Minmus.
I've never been to Juna outside Geordie Space Program.
I've put bases on the moon, sort of like one-piece bases that I've dropped down there, but like something self-sufficient.
I've never successfully put a base on the moon.
That's not far.
It's not far at all, is it? Let's just bring that in a teeny touch. Because it's quite small. Bearing in mind, we're shooting for something that's not much bigger than Kerbал's moon.
Yeah, at quite a distance away.
Which means it's going to be tough to get.
Oh, aye, I'm liking what you're doing though.
Am I actually making any difference?
I think so. Yeah, those nodes are getting closer every time you're sort of slowing me down, which is a good thing. That's very close. And maybe, yeah, push that back up a touch. Slow it down a bit more. The slower we're doing this, the better, because then that's less fuel, and then it's less that we've got to worry about doing for slowing it down. Oh, that was a thing. That was a thing. I saw it flash up for a millisecond. Does it give an idea of how far they are apart?
That's very close.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't.
Any other planetary body, and that would be. Oh, it's getting closer.
Do you think maybe we should shoot for that and then see if we can do a correction when we're a bit closer? Maybe.
No, we're getting closer.
Keep doing that until it's bigger. Oh, that was a one. That's
there we
a one.
Go.
That was done like a pro, dude.
Do I dare? No. Let's
What's
just
that?
leave that.
That's a 5 minute 23 second burn. How are we doing for fuel?
Hang on, I'm getting even closer. That'll do.
That will do. Jesus, that's a good one. That's a good one.
In solar terms, that's a gnat ball hair away.
Can you remember that episode of Red Dwarf where he plays pool with the planets?
Yes.
It's a bit like that.
White hole.
Yes, it's a bit like that. That's what you've just done. I'm going to call you Dave Ewok now.
Dave Ewok. Why not? Okay, don't fucking overshoot.
Yeah, don't do anything silly because
when it goes down to 10, I'm going to slow down by an increment.
This needs to be Johnny on the spot. 40 days. 30 days. 20 days. 10 days.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
1. Right. So that's 2.5, 15, and a 1. So what's that? 2.5, 15.
245.
246. 246. Are we pointing in the right direction?
No.
Point in the right direction.
We've got plenty of time. I'm going to stop with an hour to spare. Get pointed in the right direction.
Oh, it's tense, this. Right. Get us pointing. How are we doing for all my other gubbins? Plenty of electric.
Plenty monoprop. Plenty leggy. Leggy's not going to be a problem.
Fuel. We're nearly down to halfway.
We're more than halfway on that particular tank.
Right.
Bear in mind, though, if we do get back, we won't get back.
No.
If we do get back and need to dock and manage to dock, we can push with as far as what's left of the atomic fuel, and then detach and try and coast the rest of the way with the lander.
With the poodle and that tiny amount. I doubt by the time that thing got up and managed to dock, though.
I honestly don't think that it's going to be able to take off from
No.
Elu. I think it's going to stay there forever.
Has this thing got a communitron on?
No.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Actually, no. I think I did put one on, just in case.
I can't remember you doing that.
Oh, I've bloody doubled up on the signs by accident. No, it doesn't look like it's got a communitron on.
I mean, it's not like we need it for the next...
well, we're not. We're never coming back to the space program. This is the...
Would have been nice to have sent that back, though. That would have been quite nice. That's quite nice for you.
Oh, that'll be your wife.
It will be. She'll just have finished off work.
And there's the guys up there, all chilling out. Does she know I'm here?
Yes, she does. She knows
okay.
we're recording tonight.
Alrighty. 55.
I do to some extent blame my wife for the catastrophe of my solo episode.
And on what justification?
Well, just as I was about to launch the rocket, she'd came in, and I had the door open behind her, and we're recording my spare room, and you can see the stairs, and she'd came up the stairs, and she'd came and sort of poked her head past the railings, and I kind of heard her coming up the stairs, so I turned around to say hello, and just kind of give her a smile and a wave, and then turned back around, hit the button, and then...
To be fair, regardless of what you did, that rocket did not work, and you forgot that the rocket did not work, so it was always going to explode.
I only pay a casual bit of attention at the best of times.
Now, if you look across, you see that band of sort of stars and stellar material there.
Band of gold.
You see that?
Yeah.
To me, that suggests that the galaxy that this system is in is either a disk or a spiral.
Yeah. Well, we're a spiral galaxy.
Yeah, because you've got that's like your main sort of collection of stars, and then you've got your stragglers and your halo out here. There's another galaxy there. Yeah, your stragglers and your halo of stars around here, lessening the further away you go, and that's at its densest side.
Well, it strikes us that the sort of planetary system is loosely based on like our system, really, isn't it? You know, with the sort of like the planets are fairly analogous to sort of real planets.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Juno's your sort of Mars equivalent.
Eve's your Venus, Moho's your Mercury, Jules your big wibbly gassy one. That's Jupiter.
Jupiter, yeah. Elu, that'd be Pluto, wouldn't it?
Aye.
Yeah, there's obviously a lot of nods to our solar system in there.
Yeah, so I think that kind of makes sense that it would be kind of it's a spiral bar galaxy, isn't it?
Yeah, and where is it a bar?
I forget. That's just a term that seems to stick in my head from A-level physics.
It could well be.
Yeah.
You didn't do A-level physics, did you?
Oh no, I did GCSE. I read quite a few A-level physics textbooks.
Yeah. I did A-level physics,
I skipped
you
the
weren't
maths
there.
parts. Yeah, I didn't do the math. Well, you see, actually, I've got to thank our physics teacher for that, because he knew that I really enjoyed physics. I liked the theory, and I liked the practical application of it. What I didn't like was the math. And he was the one that sat us down, knowing that he wasn't going to have many people in his class, and he said, I'd love to have you on board, and I know that you really like the subject, and he was like, for the love of God, don't do it. He was like, it's all maths, and I know that you hate maths.
It was awful. As you well know, I dropped out of physics and maths and decided to do philosophy
instead.
Yeah, decided to do philosophy and English instead.
No way you are with a humanity. You can argue anything in the humanities.
Oh, absolutely.
But physics is right and wrong.
Yeah, physics, there is a right and wrong answer. Philosophy, any
Just
answer
argue,
you give is fine as long as you've got an argument behind it.
As long as you can argue enough, you can get yourself out of any pickle.
And I'm nothing if not an arguer.
Aye.
You bastard.
Twat.
I didn't say that in any of my philosophy papers, incidentally.
You should have done. How we doing?
2
minutes.
Yep, we're tootling down. Periapsis is coming down from the sun. We've got 2 minutes left. Fuel, we're at less than a quart of a tank. But we're not coming back. Of course, we have to remember that the lander stage is a proper lander stage. There's no atmosphere here. There's no parachutes. It's actually been quite a few episodes since I've attempted to do a proper landing. I did put lights on this though. So if we're coming down in the dark, I will be able to see.
You could put them on now. Have we got the lights on?
Oh yeah, they're on. Yeah. That's right, yeah, I put them on at the end of the last episode just to sort of show it off.
Aye.
It's hard to see them because they're kind of dim compared to this sort of raging flame. In fact, I'm surprised that one's still intact.
Yeah, it's being cooked.
There's a lot of things on there being cooked.
Everything below those engines is incredibly hot right now.
It's just as well I heat-proofed the lander stage quite well.
Packed it up with fag packets. And
should I do an EVA report right now? Maybe with Jeb?
No, don't you dare.
I'm worried that there's a very real possibility that this episode will end with
us flying
all the orange suits. No, just all the orange suits crashing into the surface.
Well, I'm starting to worry about fuel because I'm thinking we're going to need a burn like this again in order to slow down so we can actually get an orbit around Moho.
We'll not need a burn quite like this, I don't think. I think this has been a pretty intensive burn.
How fast are we going? We're going...
We're slowing down. We're going 8,000 metres a second.
That's right, actually, yeah, but we'll pick up a hell of a lot of speed once we whip around the sun.
No,
we'll be going fast.
We'll not. We'll be fine. you're right. We will.
We will be going incredibly fast as we
a hell of a lot
while we're around the sun. The minute we're going 8,000. What's that? 8,000 kilometers a second. No. About
8,000 meters a second.
Yeah. What's that? That's
80.
80 kilometers a second. It's quite fast. Not insane, but that's going to pick up.
Okay, there's our encounter.
Got it.
Fluctuating up and down a little bit. Yep, it is stable.
Yeah.
And it's going to take us 82 days to get there.
Do us a favour, mate. Hit F5 just on the off chance. You know, things go a little bit screwy sometimes.
They do.
Alright. So.
It's saying it's going to take us 82 days to get there, but when I drop the manoeuvre node, that says 315.
It's a bit weird.
So we're just going to have to... I'm afraid I'm going to have to stay on the map here. So that I can do that.
I'd like, once we get a bit closer, to see some fairly close-up shots of the sun and obviously the planet and whatnot, but...
Absolutely. I mean, even now we're closer to the sun than we've ever been before.
Yep. This is true.
Actually, is that true? Because Moho crosses over Eve's orbit, doesn't it? No, it doesn't. Moho's far too close in.
Yeah.
73 days. I could take it faster, but I'm worried.
Aye. Well, you know, I mean, it's the last episode as well. If we do something tits up, I'm not that precious. Not that precious for the last one, as mental as that sounds. We'll be quite close to Moho now.
We'll still be a distance away from it, I reckon, buddy.
We will, but I get excited.
I doubt we'll see shit. Because remember, it's the size of... Well, it's slightly bigger than the moon. Like, we'll get an encounter, which is still 5 days away, and then when we do, we'll look and we'll see if we can spot it in all its glory.
Aye.
That's so bizarre.
It might think that we're going to whip by it.
I mean, we are going to come around. I think it's doing our second pass.
Yeah. But where... Oh. It's looking nice.
3 days, and so what? We're in it... How long are we in its sphere of influence for? That's in...
5 hours.
We're only in its sphere of influence for 40 minutes.
Well, that should be alright. It should
actually 20 minutes.
You'll notice our speed's doubled. We're now going many kilometres a second. We're going quite a few now. We're going loads. So
nah, it's not letting me drop the manoeuvre node, which I'm a little worried about. So I'm going to quick save again.
Alright. Once we've got
hang on, there we go. It's because we've got 2 very close lines. I need to make sure I'm on the right one. No.
Once we've got the encounter, that should jump. There we are.
There we go. So, burning time to orbit.
Yeah, that's a big orbit.
This is what happens when you get this close to the sun.
But it's the speed that we've got.
That's because we're this close to the sun.
I don't know if we've got enough for that.
Well, there's the planet.
What we should do, start burning now. Burn like buggery. Use all this fuel, and if we've got to use the poodle to get myself in an orbit, so be it.
We should wait until it's the right time to burn. The poodle has more thrust than the 4 atomic engines.
12 minutes. 12 minutes. There's no way we've got 12 minutes burn time. That is mental.
Yeah, there's no way we've got 12 minutes burn time. We've got maybe 3.
Yeah, and I doubt we're going to make up the rest of it, even if we eject all of this gubbins.
I told you we should have gone further away from the sun. There's much less gravity out there. We'd be going really slow.
Hey, this is the fact that we got an encounter with Moho.
The further out
you can see it. Look, you can see it. It's just over there. Look, it's just over the crest of the rocket.
The further out from any body that you're orbiting you are, the slower you go. We should have been further away from the sun.
Well, you shouldn't have listened to us and my whining.
That's my bloody mistake every time.
Look at it though. Look at it. We can see it.
It's going to pass across the face of the sun. I'm alright, I'm on my manoeuvre node, so you just keep your eye on
we can see craters and Moho. It's a bit kind of brown. It's a bit nondescript, really.
Yeah, I'm really disappointed.
Yeah, all this distance. I'm going to get a nice little thing going on there. So we're coming up for your burn. You want to do what that now? Yeah. Somehow the sun is coming through the surface of Moho.
It's an optical illusion. It's a reflective effect.
Yeah. Well, you assume that side of the planet's cooking.
Oh yeah, it's going to be hot down there.
Yeah.
Should we do a crew report?
What?
A crew report. Not an EVA report, a crew report.
High over Moho.
The planet doesn't appear to have any atmosphere. You know the darker spots across the surface.
Yeah, we did. I said, look, I think
did?
they're craters. Well, this has been an episode of lots of lines on a map and lots of burning.
Burning.
I mean, it's the closest we've been to the sun, so you'd kind of expect it. Oh, I wish we got like a nice little eclipse thing going on there. That's what I was kind of hoping for.
Yeah, I don't think it's covering enough of the sun to get that effect.
Aye, it's a shame.
What do you call one of the... There's a name for that sort of effect.
Yeah, where the brightness is making it look as though it's coming over there.
Because we saw that in the lunar eclipse recently.
We did.
And we actually got quite a good view of it in the northeast.
We did, yeah. I was at work, but I managed to get myself out into the car park
I
at
was
work and look
rotten hungover, but I made a point to catch what I could. Admittedly, it was a very cloudy day, so although what we saw was good, we didn't get to see much of it. Fortunately, Prof. Brian Cox and Dara O'Brien were there to pick up the slack with their wonderful live televised broadcast.
Oh, there, that was nice.
There we go.
See the sun retract just over the surface of Moho.
Beautiful.
That was really nice.
It's worth coming here just for that, he says, even though he really, really, really wanted to touch down on it.
Still might be able to.
It is the last episode of the season. We could always cheat if we needed to.
Nah.
No?
It's not the done thing.
It's not the done thing. It is the last episode. It's been a long one as well.
It's not the done thing. Just keep burning. Should we maybe cut this? No, we don't want to cut out, because I was going to say we could maybe do the viewers the dignity of not having to watch this, but of course that fuel's going to run out and they'll probably want to see us try and detach this thing and use the poodle to finish it.
Yeah, I'm curious as to whether this thing will successfully detach. And whether the whole thing will detach, or whether we're going to have that big strut attached to the top, or what. It's going to be
remember, when it detaches, you want the engine off, because you don't want to detach it and then the poodle kick
immediately
in and smack those
thrust
ones.
into that. Yeah, absolutely, mate, absolutely.
So we'll have to...
I had already considered that.
That's fine.
God, that last lick of fuel's taken ages to burn away, innit? There we go.
Alright.
Oh, lovely. That worked perfectly.
It did.
We don't have any monoprop in this.
And watch out, there's a weird little gantry thing floating around. So yeah, just push her just out the direction of that, because that's going to go shuttling underneath very quickly. Has this thing got solar panels?
Yes, it does.
Get them out. I don't want to worry you, but that... Oh no, that's electric charge. I thought that was liquid fuel. I thought we'd somehow used like
all
30
of the
units of
liquid
liquid fuel doing that tiny little thing. So
well, I'm not hopeful about this, I'm going to be honest with you. Because there's not a lot of fuel in this bad boy.
Nah. That's a 4-minute burn. Just to get that. I can't see that happening. But, gotta do it.
Gotta try. I mean, they've got nowhere to go.
No, just burn. Would it be more efficient if we burnt at like half thrust?
No. Regretfully not.
No.
But you know what? Never ever give up hope. Look at how quick that's going down.
Oh, that is flying.
Yeah,
we've got maybe a minute if we're lucky.
Oh, that's a real drag, man.
All this. You know, there's probably people who've watched this video. They'll have watched the end of the last one. They'll not get that.
They'll never get it.
They'll be like, you might be able to get that to June.
They said that'll be wicked to go to Elu. I bet they're building that to go to Elu.
The point is, we've got this rocket. We could look at this rocket. We could revisit it once 1.0 comes out, longer term. We'll put this in the bank. We know that it's a thing that we could look at redesigning.
I've learned some things from it. I've learned that system of a detachable lander does in theory work.
Yeah.
I've learned the atomic motors, 4 of them, makes a huge difference and is still relatively fuel efficient.
Yeah.
Could even stick 6 on next time.
Yeah.
It's been a useful learning experience. It's just a shame that it's got us this close and it's not going to get us the rest of the way. That's a real drag.
Bob, Jeb and Bill lost in deep space forever. Out with not a bang but a whimper. That's the way it's going to go. That would have been a good way to end the episode.
It would have been.
Bollocks, shot me one too early.
Something of a damp squib, this one.
Yes. A damp squid.
A damp squib.
Squid.
Squib.
The squib, by nature, is supposed to go off. We've had this discussion. So if a damp squid, well, you'd go, well, that's unusual. A damp squid, a squid lives in the water, so it's always damp. So you see a squid and you go, well, of course it's damp, it's a squid. So that's a non-event. A wet squid is a non-event. A damp squib, I bet the success rate of squibs is something like 99.999%. 99.999% of the time when you detonate a squib, it goes off. If one didn't, you go, holy shit, I've never seen that happen in my many years of pyrotechnics.
It's not about it being unsurprising. It's about it being a bit of a letdown. It's like, oh well, nothing happened there, and the fact that nothing happened is a letdown.
What's more boring? A wet squid, which by nature should be wet. A squid going off is exciting.
While we've been having this discussion, while we are talking this crap, it's ended. The series is over.
I don't give a shit anymore. We've scratched up old wounds here. Look, a squib, when it is not going off, don't get us wrong, a squib going off, you go, oh, little bang, little flash, that's exciting. When it doesn't go off, I would find that exciting because I go, why didn't it work? But a squid, if it's wet, if I went to a fishmonger's and he had a damp squid, well, I wouldn't even look twice. I don't even like squid.
Do you reckon I could make orbit with monoprop?
Probably not. Do you want to just bring up the map? Yeah, we didn't even get close. Holy shit.
Yeah, he's not going to make orbit.
Can we get any nice views of the planet just to round things off? I mean, we're on the dark side.
Hang on, let's get this man back to the ship first. Since we've established he's not going to make orbit with his EVA.
Well, if a massive rocket with 4 atomic engines and then a landing stage with a poodle engine couldn't do it.
The man weighs a lot less. Was this Bob I put out?
I don't even know. I was too busy shouting about squids. Well, we can kind of see a bit of the light side. He looks ecstatic.
He looks terrified.
That's happiness. I think it's a sign of a sociopath if you can't work out what facial features mean. So one of us is a psycho, or one of us is a sociopath.
I don't think you can say
that's,
that. Okay, that's happy. Now he's happy. Because now he knows he's getting back to the ship and he's not going to be stranded in space.
He's not getting back to
the
ship.
He can die with his 3 friends. When they run out of food.
They've probably got lots of food.
Do you think it's easy to kill, butcher and eat another human or another Kerbal being when you're in a spaceship?
Oh yeah.
Because I mean they're going to have to resort to that.
Yeah.
I reckon the globules of blood would get everywhere, they'd get all in the machinery and stuff.
You'd probably do it in like the toilet or something. Do it in a room that's not important. Don't do it around like the engines or the controls, or your bedroom. Or the kitchen.
That's a fair point.
Do it in the utility room. The spaceship.
The spaceship. Was that where they keep like the washer dryer for the spacesuit?
You put your dirty boots. You put the murder corpses of your friends. All that kind of business. Just get them in, and then we'll just have to draw somewhat.
I've forgotten how to go up and down.
Oh well, that's
on EVA.
That's going to cause problems.
No.
Is it not shift and control?
Oh yeah, well done, mate.
I have learned something then. I guessed. Got it right. Where's the door? I see it.
You've recorded your observations about the situation.
It's shit. It's shit and we're bored.
Well, my EVA skills have definitely come on.
What about the rest of the signs?
Yeah, before we wrap it up, let's see what it says. The high radiation environment caused a few of the samples to glow. Looks like it would be fun to paint the rocket with this.
It's a standard one, but yep, everything's radioactive with them fucking engines.
The goo seems to be almost boiling. It writhes around in the kind of stuff.
I don't like that. It's like the goo's hurt.
Now, we won't get any pressure data. We won't. We won't get any seismic data. We will get a temperature reading. No, temperature scan can't be done. Yeah, you got to be low atmosphere, don't you?
Yeah.
So that's more or less it. That's the end of Geordie Space Program, the Next Generation. That's so disappointing.
Hey, we tried something that we hadn't done before, and you know what? We actually came very
close. Look at how close we are.
Yeah.
In terms of,
you can make out features of Moho just up in the sort of top of the screen there. That's the closest we've been to something that we haven't done before. You know what? It was disappointing that we couldn't end with a big bang, but this, as far as whimpers go, is fairly promising. I think it's saying...
It's a loud whimper.
Yeah, I think what it's saying is there's promise and there's hope for us in the future series. Still haven't fully decided on the name yet, but we will be getting to that at some point. But yeah, if you've enjoyed the video, and indeed if you've enjoyed the series, please tell your friends and family. Sit around hugging each other in the warm embrace of your computer screen and give it a watch.
We'll be back next week with Kerbal Space Program 1.0, a brand new Geordie Space program where we can put into place all the lessons that we've learned over the course of the last 2 seasons. Indeed. It's supposed to be at least 30 episodes. At least.
Yeah. Well, we've got a lot of Geordie Space program going. But yes, as always, if you enjoyed the video, you can like it, you can share it amongst friends and family, you can always leave a comment, and if you haven't subscribed already, please do, and we shall see you next time. Thank you for watching the series. Bye-bye.
Bye.